All right, you've got a great idea. You're reaching out to companies, but something's not quite working right, and you don't know what you're doing. During this video, I'm going to talk about all the mistakes inventors are making so you don't make those mistakes. All right, guess who's back? Dana Knowles. She knows what she's doing. She's reaching out to big companies, small companies. She is the dating site for inventors. I love saying that. I think it's funny. If you got an idea and a company's looking for an idea, Dana can date. She brings them both together. She's that matchmaker for inventors. Dana, thank you for coming on InventRight TV.
Thanks, Steven.
Wow. Okay. Because I was telling someone the other day, it's like a dating site kind of. You got to make the right match. You got to make the right product with the right company to really make it work. But Dana, sometimes people are making mistakes, and it's not the right match.
Mhm.
So what are they doing that's creating this mixed match?
Well, the number one thing, and we talk about it a lot, and I'll probably talk about it till the cows come home, whatever that means. They're not doing enough research on the company and looking at their product line.
All right.
That's number one. I think that's number one.
Okay.
They think that their product is going to be a good fit. They think that the company is going to love this product. But learning through the process of licensing through InventRight is that, if a company is only making wooden products, and your product can't be made out of wood for whatever, they're not going to rearrange their whole manufacturing process just to accommodate this new product idea. So that's the number one mistake: pitching the wrong product to the wrong company.
It,
Number Oh, I'm on
and,
a roll. Go ahead.
okay. And what that does, Dana, people don't realize when you're pitching the wrong product to the company, you're wasting their time.
Yeah, and you're also making not only yourself look bad, but you're making all other independent product developers look a little bad, because they tend to kind of lump us into, sometimes into one lump, crazy foil on the head basement inventor type thing.
No
Uh,
way. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Why this is so important, everyone. When you're not making the right match, you're right. It costs the company time and money to review them. It's like looking for a needle in a haystack, and they've complained about that. And sometimes those doors close, and they don't want to even deal with us because we're wasting their time. So you have to be very careful of making that right match. But sometimes people don't know they don't know what the right match is. Sometimes they think, well, maybe they might think about that. Maybe this is an opportunity they haven't started to jump into that area yet. And I want to show them an opportunity. Is that a good idea?
Never. Just That's a flat out no.
But
No. It's like
wait a minute. But wait a minute. They should. There's an opportunity here. It's $1 billion opportunity they're missing.
Yeah, no, it doesn't work that. Sorry, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't. Now, I'll give you a perfect example. I probably talked about this before, but I'm going to repeat it. I invented the shower caddy, the hanging shower caddy. Now, when I first, read your book and just started with InventRight, read One Simple Idea, just started with InventRight, I had a whole list of. I thought I'm gonna get a jump start. I'm gonna make a whole list of companies. So I researched every company that made a shower caddy, and then I was an InventRight member, and I had, a coach, and we kind of went over the list a little bit, and my coach caught it right away, and he said, Dana, some of these companies only make metal shower caddies. Now mine was made out of fabric. It was mesh.
Okay.
They only but they made shower caddies. But why but it's a great idea. And he said, no, they only make metal. They don't have any mesh products in their product line. And then, of course, with the plastic shower caddies and the wooden shower caddies. But why not? Well, I learned that I had to go into an industry that it wasn't not only made shower caddies or not only made mesh products. Let me back up. I had to go into the industries that make mesh products.
Okay.
It didn't necessarily have to be in the shower industry.
Oh, okay.
And the company I licensed to they only had, I think, one other product in bathroom. Everything else was in all housewares. But that opened up a whole new world for me to start looking for companies that made products out of mesh fabric, because then they have the manufacturing
But,
capability.
but Dan,
Yeah.
I don't have all these details, but I think it's a good idea. So I have to do more homework. Okay, but okay, so that's the biggest mistake. We're showing products to companies. That's not a good dating match. All
Right.
right, so what's number two? Any other problems that we're doing? Any other mistakes we're doing? Okay, you've got a great product idea and you're not quite sure what to do. Or maybe you've got inventory in your garage because you were selling your product on Amazon and you don't want to continue doing it, but you want someone to help you license your idea to a company to bring it to market for you. We have a new program that's called Gateway, where we do all the work for you. We'll find the right companies and the right people to make sure your product is pitched correctly to get the licensing deal. This new program is called Gateway. If you're interested, please check it out.
Number two, there's so many. Where do I start? I'm sorry, people, but I've made them all. Trust me, I've made them all. Asking a company to sign an NDA before you send them anything, if they're even willing to look.
But I'm afraid they're going to steal my idea. I want them to sign an NDA right away.
This is what I say. You know what? You're sending your NDA over to them. Now the company has to get their lawyer involved to look at the NDA to make sure you're not saying I'm going to own your company. And now right away, before they've even looked at your product, you're costing them money.
Okay.
That's it's always a way. Here, sign my NDA. I don't trust you. That's not a good way to start out a relationship.
Yeah.
I think you're going to cheat on me. Oh, okay. We're talking dating service.
But you
No.
know what's really funny about that? Oh, I love it. You're going to cheat on. I think you're going to cheat on me. Sign this NDA.
Yes. Sign this prenup.
Kind of. What's even crazier? I had a patent attorney on. He says, Steve, the last thing you want to do, if you have an issued patent, send it to them right away. You're saying to them, I'm going to put a gun to your head. You need to pay me,
Yeah.
because that's not the way to build that relationship. So you have to be really careful the way you present yourself.
Mm-hmm. Good point, because that's the third mistake. How do you present yourself? I started noticing some comments that some companies had made to me about, working with inventors. And they all basically said the same thing. We know a brand new inventor from the very first couple sentences they send us in an email.
Okay.
We know they're brand new. And great, companies need to innovate, but they don't want to teach inventors how this whole licensing process works. So we must come in with a working knowledge, and not only just, hey, I got a great idea, I want to show it to you, but all the ins and outs. There's so much more to licensing than just, I got a great idea, here, sign a contract, send me royalties. So much more to it.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that, because I think a lot of inventors think it's okay if I don't know, but if my idea is good enough, it's going to be okay. And that's not the way it works. They're kind of afraid that if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to probably cause some problems and issues.
Well, I don't know if I ever told the story publicly. It's not anything. So when I licensed my shower caddy, I talked to the one owner. He really liked the idea. He said, I want you to talk to the other owner. They were partners. And I talked to both of them for 15, 20 minutes, but it was a strange conversation. It wasn't about my product. It was about me.
Mm.
And in the end of the second conversation, the guy told me, you passed. And I was like, what do you mean I passed? Like, that was just weird. He said, no, we feel you're going to be easy to work with, because we hear this all the time. We don't care how good your product is. If the inventor is too difficult to work with, we are not going to work with you, because they're good. If you license your product idea to a company, they're going to have a long relationship with you, on that particular product.
Yeah, and I think most inventors don't realize that every time you ask them a question, you cost them money too.
Mm-hmm.
So they really want you to be a little bit further along,
Yeah.
and someone they can work with, you become an asset. So what about if I tell them what a great opportunity? This is $1 billion opportunity I don't want you to miss, because we're going to capture 10% of the market. Is that a rookie mistake?
Oh my goodness, yeah. They're never going to answer an email like that. Ever, never, never. They might answer it with some crude words like go away and don't ever come back. They're never going to open up your email again. Yeah. Yeah. That's a pretty big one too, because we're The only product idea that I have ever seen that was world changing, that everybody wants from 4 years old to 104, is a cell phone.
Oh.
That's the one product that was a game changer.
Yeah, I think when you talk about the market and you talk about how much you're going to capture, what type of opportunity, right away you're telling them you don't know what you're doing. It's a rookie mistake. I heard that the other day with Ken Johnson. It's a rookie mistake.
Yeah.
You cannot do that. So what about if I want to talk about the royalty rate in the first meeting? How's that go?
That would probably be a big no. No.
Okay. All right.
And that's that. That's that. No, that's not what. And and Paul Sorensen, our negotiations coach, years ago did a YouTube on royalties, and I believe he said in it, which makes total sense, is you never throw out the royalty rate first either, and you don't want to do it on the first phone call. Maybe not even the second phone call, because there's a process to how companies are going to even, you get that little bit of interest. Usually a team has to look at it. Then they got to do all their analysis on everything. And then they'll come back and say, yeah, we'd like to move forward. And then it goes a little bit further, a little bit further. And it's, it really doesn't get discussed until there's serious interest. And then there's a point where it does get discussed. But that's the good thing about having someone guide an inventor through this, like Paul did with me. And just, I knew when to ask it, what to ask for. And my company did ask me what I was looking for.
You know what it is? If you're going out of sequence, but you cannot just pull one thing out of a contract and talk about it without seeing the whole contract. So there's a sequence here. I've told many people this. When you get interest from a company, you're getting a nibble, like when you're fishing. You have to reel it in now. And getting a nibble and reeling it out, putting it in your bag to go home is two different things. So you can get a nibble, you can get some interest, but you have to bring it to the table to get the deal done. That's a completely different thing.
And I think you have to nurture that relationship too. How often do you follow up? How do you stay at the top of the pile without being a pain? How do you keep the ball rolling without scaring them away?
Yeah, pretty much. We had a good friend of mine, John Farrell, patent attorney, came on. He said, Steve, don't bring your patent attorney into the first calls. The deal killer.
Yeah. Or any attorney. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. People think that I'm going to lawyer up really quick because I got a deal. And he says, no, that's not the way it works. Those guys can kill a deal and not make a deal. So, Dana, thank you for talking about all of this.
I have one more big
mistake. No, there's more. There's more. All right.
There's one more.
All right.
So you reach out to a company and they say, yeah, we're open to outside ideas. Send me over what you have. And you send them over crap. Now I learned about crap. Can't realize a profit is an acronym for crap. And that is a term in the industry. Somebody said that to me about my product. He said, it's crap. I'm like, what do you mean? Yeah, he said, it's crap. I'm like, what? He says, no, can't realize a profit. Oh. That's why they turned it down. That was the acronym, but they used that term. But sending over really, really bad marketing material. And I got to tell you, I'm going to be real honest. And I talk to people all the time. And while I'm on the phone with them, they're like, can I email you over my sales sheet? Yeah, sure. Email it over. And I think maybe out of the, 50 or 60 sales sheets I saw, I might've seen one that was good. That was actually made by an inventor. And this is why you always have to get somebody in the mix that understands.
But wait a minute, Dan, I'm going to find someone on Fiverr to make my sales sheet for me. No. Oh, no, wait, better yet. Hey, I can do my own sales sheet. I'm pretty good at graphics.
And you know what? Maybe someone is, I explain it like creating a sales sheet it's a certain art of graphic design. Right. I mean, anybody can be, it's like a mechanic who is a mechanic on a Volkswagen as opposed to a mechanic that's a mechanic on Mack trucks. They're all mechanics, but they work on two different things. So the sell sheet that's a certain art. And I'm not a graphic designer, but I've learned so much about sell sheets through our graphic design studio that I could hire a graphic designer and say, okay, go ahead and make this for me. I know how to lay it all out. I know what the background, the image, I know the main benefit, I know all of that. But if someone tries to do it on their own, I'm just saying that's a fact. When I see sell sheets, I'm like, first of all, I don't get it, or it's 5 pages, or it's there's a bunch of words, or yeah. So that's probably the biggest mistake. And I think I'm going to speak for myself. I'm not going to. When we're in our mind with our invention, we're kind of delusional, right? I was delusional about, I made my own sell sheet before I came to inventRight. Oh my gosh. I thought it was this is so great. It's fantastic. And my coach was like, yeah, it's okay, but you can't send this. And the graphic design studio cleaned it all up and we cleaned it all up and everything. So yeah, and it just made it nice and clean. And that's probably the number, what are we on, 4 or 5 mistake?
I
But
don't
those are,
know. You lost count. You lost me with all of them.
and
Dana,
these are all mistakes I've made. All of them I've made. I've made all of them prior to becoming an inventRight member. Prior, yeah,
so
yeah.
Dana, if you add up all this information we're providing, you're really talking about having skills,
Hmm.
developing skills. Is that what we're getting at here?
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Yeah, and it's hard to develop these skills if you've never done it before.
Well, it's just like anything, if I've never, ran a marathon, I'm not just going to go out there and start running and hope I don't get cramped up or fall or, have a heart attack or something. Go get, I'm going to go get help. I'm doing it now with my speaking because I want to be a speaker, right? Because I love to talk and I love to talk
Oh,
about
you
me.
do, you do.
I do.
You know,
So do you.
someone showed me he had this game he was playing, I guess, with his son. Maybe it was like a football game, and he said, "I've got this game, and I want to send it to Hasbro." And I said, "Have you have you ever done this before?" He said, "No, but it's a great idea. They're going to love it." I
Mhm.
said, what you're planning to do, what you just told me that I'm going to be in the Super Bowl this Sunday."
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, no, you haven't practiced, you haven't been coached, you don't have the skills yet to be ready for that type of level to deal with those type of companies, to come off the right way with the right product, to understand how to get a deal done. It doesn't work that way. So it does take some time. So Dana, thank you for coming on. Wow, InventRight TV, you're my hero. You know you are. You are so good at this, and you're helping so many of us. So thank you so much for coming on InventRight TV.
You're welcome, Stephen.